December 6th, 2009. When Susan Powell left her home in West Valley City, Utah, nobody knew it'd be the last time anyone would ever see her. At first glance, Susan's life seemed ordinary. She was a devoted mother of 2 young boys, Charlie and Braden. She worked hard, cared deeply about her family, and was known by friends as kind, responsible, and reliable. But behind closed doors, her marriage to Josh Powell was falling apart. For years, Susan had secretly documented her fears. She told friends and family that she was worried about Josh's behavior. Their finances were in terrible shape. The couple argued frequently. Susan believed Josh was hiding things from her, and she had even begun recording information about their assets and debts in case something happened to her. In one recording, she reportedly stated that if she ever disappeared, she did not believe it would be an accident. At the time, few people realized how chilling those words would later become. On the evening of December 6th, a winter storm moved across Utah. Susan, Josh, and their 2 sons spent the day at church before returning home. According to Josh, everything seemed normal. The next morning, however, Susan did not show up for work. That immediately raised concern. This was completely unlike her. She also failed to pick up her children, answer her phone, or contact friends and family. Co-workers became worried. Relatives became worried. Soon, police were called. When officers arrived at the Powell home, several things seemed strange. The house appeared unusually clean. A powerful fan was running inside. Susan's purse was still there. Her wallet remained untouched. Her identification cards had not been taken. Most importantly, there was no indication that she had planned to leave voluntarily. Investigators quickly focused on Josh Powell. His explanation sounded unusual from the beginning. Josh claimed that around midnight, during a snowstorm and freezing temperatures, he had suddenly decided to take his 2 young sons on a camping trip. The story immediately raised eyebrows. The boys were only 4 and 2 years old. Most parents would never choose to wake sleeping children in the middle of a snowy winter night and drive into the wilderness. Detectives found the timing difficult to believe. As investigators dug deeper, more questions emerged. Friends described the marriage as troubled. Financial problems had created constant stress. Susan had recently spoken about possibly leaving Josh. Some family members revealed that she no longer felt safe in the relationship. Then, police discovered something else. Josh seemed surprisingly unconcerned about his missing wife. While family members desperately searched for Susan, Josh often appeared focused on himself. His behavior struck investigators as odd, but strange behavior alone was not evidence. They needed facts. They needed proof. The search for Susan intensified. Volunteers combed fields, parks, deserts, and remote areas throughout Utah. Police searched vehicles and property connected to Josh. News coverage spread across the country. Yet Susan remained missing. No body, no confirmed sightings, no answers. Then investigators learned about another disturbing figure connected to the case. Josh's father, Susan Powell. What they discovered about him would shock even seasoned detectives, and it would push the investigation into an even darker and more disturbing direction than anyone could have imagined. What investigators found inside Stephen's home shocked everyone involved in the case. Authorities discovered thousands of photographs and hours of recordings centered on Susan. Many had been collected without her knowledge. Stephen had developed an obsession with his daughter-in-law that lasted 4 years. He secretly filmed her, recorded conversations, wrote journals about her, and documented fantasies involving her. The material painted a picture of a man who had become fixated on Susan in an unhealthy and deeply disturbing way. Family members later described how uncomfortable Susan had felt around him. She reportedly avoided being alone with Stephen whenever possible. At times, she even expressed fear of him. The discoveries raised serious questions. Had Stephen somehow been involved in Susan's disappearance? Or was he simply another troubling figure surrounding an already bizarre case? Investigators worked to separate speculation from evidence. Meanwhile, Josh Powell remained the primary person of interest. Yet, despite extensive searches and countless interviews, police still lacked the one thing they desperately needed: a body. Without Susan's remains, proving a murder had occurred would be extremely difficult. Months turned into years. The case remained in the headlines. Then investigators received help from an unexpected source: Josh's own children. Charlie and Braden had been very young when their mother vanished. But as they grew older, child welfare professionals and investigators continued speaking with them. Some of the statements they made attracted attention. One account in particular became highly significant. According to reports, one of the boys described seeing their mother in the trunk of a vehicle. Another statement suggested that Susan had gone somewhere with Josh and never returned. Because the children had been so young at the time, investigators treated the information cautiously. Memories from early childhood can be unreliable. Even so, their comments added further suspicion toward Josh. The situation worsened for him when detectives uncovered evidence suggesting he had been researching remote locations before Susan disappeared. Investigators also discovered unusual financial activity after she vanished. At the same time, public opinion was increasingly turning against him. Many people no longer believed Susan had simply disappeared. They believed she had been murdered, and they believed Josh knew exactly what happened. Then another major development occurred. In 2011, Susan Powell was arrested on unrelated criminal charges involving voyeurism and child exploitation. The case resulted in significant media coverage and further damaged the Powell family's reputation. For investigators, it reinforced the disturbing environment surrounding Susan before she vanished. Still, despite years of work, no criminal charges were filed in connection with Susan's disappearance. Police believed they knew who was responsible, but belief was not enough. The case remained trapped between suspicion and proof. As the investigation continued, attention shifted toward the future of Charlie and Braden. The boys were no longer living with Josh Fulton. Courts and child protection officials became increasingly concerned about their safety and well-being. A custody battle began. And what happened next would transform a missing person investigation into one of the most heartbreaking true crime stories in modern American history. In September 2011, a judge granted custody of Charlie and Braden to Susan's parents, Chuck and Judy Cox. For the first time since their mother's disappearance, the boys were living away from Josh Powell. The decision was a major setback for him. Court records showed growing concern about his behavior and the environment surrounding his family. Authorities continued monitoring the situation closely. Several months later, social worker Elizabeth Griffin Hall arrived at Josh's home in Graham, Washington, for a supervised visitation. The visit was supposed to be routine. Charlie and Braden ran toward the house as children normally would. But within seconds, something went terribly wrong. According to the social worker, Josh suddenly grabbed the boys and pulled them inside. Before she could follow, he slammed the front door shut and locked it. Immediately, she sensed danger. She called 911 and urgently told dispatchers that the children were trapped inside with their father. What happened next unfolded in just a matter of minutes. Inside the house, Josh attacked both boys with a hatchet. He then poured gasoline throughout the residence. Moments later, a massive explosion tore through the home. Fire engulfed the building almost instantly. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, but it was already too late. Josh Powell, Charlie Powell, and Braden Powell were all found dead. The tragedy shocked the nation. Many people were horrified that authorities had allowed the visitation to occur despite years of concern surrounding Josh. Questions were immediately raised. Could this have been prevented? Were warning signs ignored? Why had Josh still been granted access to the children? Investigations later revealed that Josh had carefully planned the attack. Before the visitation, he had transferred money from his bank accounts. He had sent emails to family members. He had prepared a will. Evidence suggested that he knew exactly what he intended to do. The deaths of Charlie and Braden transformed public perception of the case. For many observers, Josh's final actions appeared to answer the question that had haunted investigators for years. While police still lacked direct proof regarding Susan's disappearance, countless people now believe Josh had been responsible all along. Detectives continued reviewing evidence connected to Susan's case. Searches were conducted in remote areas linked to Josh's movements. Potential burial locations were examined. Tips continued arriving from the public. Yet despite years of effort, Susan herself was never found. No confirmed remains. No definitive crime scene, no confession. Legally, the central mystery remained unresolved, but emotionally, the case had entered a new chapter. Instead of focusing solely on a missing woman, people were now mourning an entire family. A mother who vanished, two young boys who never had the chance to grow up, and a case that seemed to leave tragedy everywhere it touched. Still, investigators were not finished. Even after Josh's death, they continued working to determine exactly what happened to Susan Powell and where her remains might be located. The search for those answers would continue for years, and some of the most revealing discoveries were still yet to come. Following Josh Powell's death, investigators gained access to additional evidence that had previously been difficult to obtain. Among the most important discoveries were thousands of digital files, journals, recordings, emails, and personal documents collected from members of the Powell family. These materials offered a disturbing glimpse into the world Susan had been living in before she disappeared. Investigators and journalists spent years reviewing the evidence. The picture that emerged was troubling. Susan had documented growing concerns about her marriage. Long before December 2009, she wrote about financial struggles, arguments, control, and an increasing fear that her relationship was becoming unhealthy. Friends later confirmed that she had been considering major changes in her life. Some said she wanted greater independence. Others believed she was preparing to leave Josh entirely. One of the most chilling discoveries involved Susan's own written statements. In various documents and communications, she expressed concern that something could happen to her. At the time, those words may have seemed like frustration from a troubled marriage. After her disappearance, they sounded like warnings. As years passed, law enforcement agencies continued searching for answers. Multiple locations were investigated across Utah and neighboring states. Several tips appeared promising. None led to Susan. Despite extensive efforts, her remains were never recovered. Eventually, courts declared Susan Powell legally dead, yet legally closing a case and solving it are not the same thing. To this day, nobody has ever been charged with her murder. No trial was held. No jury heard the evidence. No final verdict was delivered. Officially, Susan remains a missing person whose disappearance is presumed to be the result of homicide. For many investigators, however, the overall picture seemed clear. The evidence, behavior, timeline, and circumstances all pointed in the same direction. But without the physical evidence necessary for prosecution, the case remained incomplete. The tragedy left behind countless victims. Susan's parents spent years searching for answers about their daughter. Friends lost someone they deeply cared about, and Charlie and Braden never had the opportunity to grow into adulthood. The story became one of the most heartbreaking family crime cases in modern America. Not because of a single event, but because each chapter seemed more devastating than the last. A woman vanishes, a family falls apart, children become trapped in the aftermath, and the truth disappears with the one person who likely knew exactly what happened. More than 15 years later, people still discuss Susan Powell's case. Podcasts, documentaries, investigators, and true crime researchers continue examining the evidence, hoping that one overlooked detail might finally reveal where Susan was taken and what happened that winter night. Whether those answers will ever be found remains unknown. But Susan Powell's story continues to serve as a reminder that some of the most frightening cases do not begin with strangers. Sometimes they begin inside a home, behind closed doors, hidden beneath the appearance of an ordinary family. And sometimes the people closest to us are the ones we understand the least. If you enjoy true crime documentaries, criminal investigations, and real stories that continue to haunt investigators years later, subscribe to The Last Call. Because some mysteries aren't terrifying because they're unsolved. They're terrifying because we may already know the answer, but never be able to prove it.